No, when they show, because I was the whole time I was laughing like, man, why they get this brother, this big ass kid, and play Frankenstein,
right,
flat top right here, and then they showed the real dude, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
that's his thing.
I see it. I mean, Jamie's is just a little bit higher, you know, but
but you know, he's in prison, so maybe he could get to the barber all the time.
You always taught me to fight for the people who need the help most. Your life is still meaningful, and I'm gonna do everything possible to keep them from taking it.
You know, after playing Eric Killmonger right now, you know, Michael B. Jordan is probably saying, yeah, let me help these black folks in a less genocidal way.
Perhaps a different approach.
Perhaps a different approach. You know, I shouldn't have to, like, kill masses of white people to get my point across. You know, why not just take them to court? You know, do it the legal way. And that's great that he is going to court to fight for the life of a man who was wrongly convicted of murder, who finds himself on death row, that man played by Jamie Foxx right here. And I'm glad that we see Michael B. Jordan, the more gentle side of Michael B. Jordan. That's great and everything. But I'm going to be honest with you, I was not looking to end the year with the black struggle flick.
They almost let you get out.
Almost let me. I did not feel like black struggling into 2020.
It was almost over. They're going to show you that movie, The Banker, and they went like, we'll hold it back.
Nah. How about we get you some of that good old fashioned Ross's. Grab a plate and let's go down south.
Oh, but I was just about to. No. You come on.
No, come on in.
We saved this for you.
Yeah, we black struggling. Then doing the black struggle shuffle into 2020. When Hollywood needs, at the very last minute, when they need, not even a win, but just an Oscar nomination, something to just let the studio look good. When the studio needs an Oscar nomination, they start beating the shit out of black people. That's what they need. It works a lot of times. I got to give them that. It's a strategy that works. But then you do see a black struggle flick every now and then, and you look at it and you say, yeah, people need to see this shit. Yeah, you know, people need a fresh reminder. You know, they need to be reminded every now and then. You know, like Chris Herman right here. You know, he needs to be reminded. You know, the other day I showed him something. He's like, wow, Corey, you know what? Racism really is a motherfucker, isn't it? I'm like, yes, sir. That was messed up, wasn't it? It was, yeah.
That white guilt's kicking in. Yeah. Like, ooh, there it is.
Yeah. And that was just Zootopia.
That was. Now I understand.
Yeah. Now I get it. When you put a bunny and a fox in there, now I understand. You get those movies every now and then. That needs to be shown out there. So this movie that we have right here, Just Mercy, is it something of that type of film where it needs to be seen? It really is telling people something that they need to know about racism, even though we think we know it all? Or is it just more Oscar bait? Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer, and Martin and myself will be back to school this young man right here.
Oh, no. You always taught me to fight for the people who need the help most. Your life is still meaningful, and I'm gonna do everything possible to keep them from taking it. You don't know what you into down here in Alabama?
Boy, you should have seen Chris jump when he did that. Shit.
Oh, no, they're doing
What? I was listening.
Oh, shit, Jamie's mad.
When I first learned about all of this, it was like looking at a river full of drowning people and not having any way of helping them.
They're like, damn, girl.
Jesus. I'm just looking at this. That looks like Super Mario in blackface.
With the brightness
Yeah, I
turned
know.
all the way down.
Yeah, just hop on the white people.
We all need mercy.
I went into this with attitude, man.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Why
I
is
did.
that?
Well, like I told you, man. I mean, looking at this trailer, like I told you, it's got everything, man. It's got the speeches. It's got the gospel singing black woman. Whoa, you know, all that, and it's not just because of the black struggle element that goes on here. It's also another movie where they say based on a true story. And I've had enough of those right now. I've had enough of Hollywood basing shit on true stories and just flat out lying. I told you I couldn't even rate Richard Jewell And the more I think about it, the more I don't like what this movie did. It's entertaining, but I think it's a very hypocritical film, and I don't like it, man. I'm tired of Hollywood just, going in and taking liberties with people's images, and especially this fucking movie right here, where the whole thing is like, oh, let's go in and prove somebody's innocence, and let's go and talk about how the media makes somebody look bad, and then they make somebody look bad who can't even defend themselves. I'm tired of this shit. So I look at this and I'm like, I don't know what this movie's doing too. But as I started watching this, and it wasn't very long when I got into it, that this actually felt different.
Yeah?
Yeah, it did, man. This is this didn't feel like it felt different because it didn't feel like it was telling a story just to retell events. It looked like it was telling a story to enlighten. It looked like it was actually trying to educate people on something. This is based on the book of the same name, Just Mercy. This is sort of a memoir about this activist / lawyer, Brian Stevenson, and played by Michael B. Jordan. If you ask me which one is which, I will slap you. Anybody in the chat?
Hold on, I almost got it. Don't give me any hits.
Yeah. I like the way JB, man, he actually leaned over like, I'm not going to say nothing, but.
Which one do I shoot?
They're both black.
Yeah.
You got that part, right?
Both wearing dark colors.
Yes.
Shit, I would f him up. They both had a mustache. This is his memoir talking about his experience with the justice system, of course. But the main arc here is the main narrative that you have here is him going in to defend Walter Macmillan, played by Jamie Foxx right here. He was accused of killing an 18-year-old girl back in 1986. 18-year-old white girl in Alabama. So everything was stacked up against him from the beginning. And it didn't help that, boy, you took your black ass down there and fucking them white women. he was messing around with some white women in town, and they already had a grudge on this guy because of that. So, and this is 1986. This ain't 1950s, ain't 1960s. This ain't no civil rights march.
I mean, it's Alabama, so it's sort of the 50s.
So, yeah, so that shit's stuck in time.
Yeah, it really is.
Alabama, you're fucked up. I'm telling you.
But the Crimson Tide.
Somebody even told me one time, well, man, I'm not like that. Well, get out. You're guilty by association. But that is the main story. But what this movie is really doing is that it's trying to, as I just explained, it's trying to draw attention, draw more attention rather, to how messed up the legal system is in regards to the death penalty, which I've never hidden my feelings on the death penalty. I hate it, man. I think it's murder. It's something that's that Brian Stevenson still advocates today through his organization, Equal Justice Initiative. This is something that ever since when he was a young man during this trial, this is something that he has extended today, where he's helped over 100 convicted prisoners on death row get overturned because they have been proven innocent.
There are thousands of people who've been wrongly convicted, unfairly sentenced, falsely accused. We believe all of us have to engage in challenging this problem.
I mean, I'm taking him seriously, I am, but it looks like people just sprinkle salt on his head. See them little sprouts up there?
Yeah, the little bit of fluff.
A little bit of fluff. that ain't fluff.
It's fuzz.
Those are grains. I think, and see, for me, I think that's where the movie succeeds. It's through enlightenment. I think that it's showing just how complicated the issue of the death penalty is. And it's doing it through, and I'm not just saying this because from a social, a social issue standpoint. It gets it done because there's some really powerful performances in there, and they touch on some things that really illustrate their point in different areas. Rob Morgan, who y'all like Turk, boy, my boy Turk from Netflix. Man, that dude crazy. He's funny. No, not here. That shit is tragic with him, if you believe the story, because Turk is funny. Everybody likes Turk, but he ain't Turk here. Here, he's a real life person, Herbert Richardson. And they illustrate, like, even when you have been convicted of a crime that you of murder that you actually did, it's still more complicated than that. The movie addresses that. This man was a Vietnam vet, came back with PTSD, pretty much abandoned by the government, and didn't really mean to kill somebody, but he did it. But there was a lot more to that story than what happened. O'Shea Jackson. O'Shea Jackson brings in some comedy relief. He's a prisoner on death row, and he's actually, you know, he brings the laughs. You're like, hey, you know, yeah, I'm on death row, but it's got its moments. You know? Yeah, it's got some chuckles every now and then. I mean, depending on how you look at it. If you look on the bright side of things, no, he plays a real life person that they illustrate here. Anthony Ray Hinton, who didn't even kill anybody. He was on death row for 30 years because the judge said, Negro, you look guilty. Wow. Just by a look, even though he did completely nothing, man. You know, all that information is delivered with real emotional impact that got to me. And these performances were done well in the movie because these performances they're not heavy, man. These performances are not over dramatic. These performances, and there's a lot of very subdued performances here. And when they do go crazy, you can't blame them. I can't take this shit no more. It's like, yes, yeah. When you see the frustration of what's going on, all the pills that are turned down, all the racism that's happening, all of the
backdoor deals,
the backdoor deals, people who just don't want to look bad and save their careers. Man, you see all that. Yeah, when they do all that, you're like, yeah, let it out, brother. You know, I get it. I get it. When you see Jamie Foxx slam that table, man.
Possible to keep them from taking it. You don't know what you into down here now.
Even then, he was cool. He was like, ain't nothing you can do. You know? But those moments of high drama like that are earned here, I believe. How you feeling about this so far, man?
I mean, I like everything the movie's about, and you're right about it, the way it educates you on the death penalty to show that it's not such a simple issue. It is complicated. Yeah. And I mean, I agree with you. It definitely should be suspended until they get it worked out. It is frustrating, and yet it's so expected. I was like, yeah, I didn't expect this to go any other way. I thought, you know, it's funny because as much as their talent and performances of the Oscar winners, Jamie Foxx and Brie Larson and Michael B. Jordan, the ones that stood out to me were the supporting cast, namely Tim Blake Nelson and Rob Morgan.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, he's got a very, very heartbreaking storyline in here, man.
Yeah, it's complex.
Yeah.
Because you're like, he did do it, but he needs help.
That's the thing. Yeah, he needs help, and you got to keep in mind that this is a place that's looking. This is Alabama.
Yeah.
And they even say they're just looking for any excuse. They're looking for. This is a modern lynching system. I know people love to throw that word lynching around, but if you ever gonna throw it around where it's used truly in a modern definition, it's here. I will elaborate on that in a little while.
Yeah, if you live in Alabama and you see this movie and you don't even try to move, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, now I don't know. This is '86. You know, this Jamie Foxx is a character here. He was on death row, not for 30 years, but Walter McMillan was on death row for 6 years, man, for something that he absolutely didn't do because they just wanted to take him out. Murderer they never caught, by the way. It's a f***ed up system because they are so eager to kill a person of color that they don't even care that an innocent person was killed. A white girl, by the way, they don't care that person like is still running free. They're like, well, they probably white, you know. So hey, they earned their freedom. Oh, f it, man. Not trying to make you feel uncomfortable or anything.
I'm not. Hey, he's gonna be free.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, I can murder both of them. Just walk out there. They've seen how you treated me.
Yeah. I'll probably get patted down though, but that's the way.
Yeah, you will. Unless you try to go see Joker, then they'll get, yeah. Man, we've been seeing a lot of movies lately where it's based on a true story,
and the people look nothing like.
They look nothing like they
the
don't
real
look.
people.
You lying and shit. At least try to get the people to look like the real folks that they're based on.
Yeah, no, that was one of the things that impressed me when they show the people at the end, and I was braced for it. Like, okay, here we go, and I was like, oh, well, that's not too far off.
No, not at all, man. No, when they show, because I was the whole time I was laughing like, man, why they get this brother, this big ass kid and play Frankenstein,
right,
flat top right here, and then they showed the real dude, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
that's his thing.
I see it. I mean, Jamie's is just a little bit higher, but
but he's in prison, so maybe he could get to the barber all the time.
Or maybe it was a round afro. He was just sleeping up against the wall. Just got pressed down a little bit. Got that Frankenberry shit
this way. Right.
You can go online and look at this, man, and see how well that the people, they don't just look like them. They act like them. I'm going to play a little bit from 60 Minutes, man. Okay. They play that 60 Minutes excerpt.
Yeah.
In the movie. And it's one thing to make people look like the characters, but if you really want to capture the essence of them, then you have to be able to act like them and mimic them in a certain way too. And they really do when you look at the real life counterparts in news segments like 60 Minutes.
His name is Walter McMillan.
And they showed that part in the movie, except it was Jamie Foxx's face right there.
Always did that. Seeing so many other movies where they show the real person, but we've been dealing with the actor, and it's like, what is going on?
Johnny D., and he's been on death row in Alabama's Holman prison for almost 6 years. The clerk who was murdered was 18-year-old Rhonda Morrison, the only child of Charles and Bertha Morrison.
Meanwhile, they were so hell-bent on seeing a Negro be executed. Once this all got done, they never even caught the murderer. Let me change that. Scratch that. No, they caught him. It was a white dude, and they let him go.
Oh,
it says at the end of the movie, they said they got a guy that was pretty much sure the person who was the one that committed the crime. No files were charged. Charges were filed.
I have no doubt that Walter McMillan did it. You didn't kill Rhonda
No,
Morrison?
sir. I ain't never seen Rhonda Morrison a day in my life. God knows I ain't.
Where were you on the day of the murder?
God damn.
That's Alabama, all right.
That is Alabama. He's like Boomhauer from King of the Hill.
Ed Bradley, any chance we could get subtitles at the bottom?
I'm not how to lie.
I tell you what.
And that's when the police like, oh shit, we got an easy one right here.
At my house.
Did you ever go into Monroeville on the day of the murder?
No, sir.
You never went into town?
Never went to Monroe, period.
They had no fingerprints, no telltale.
So you get what's happening. They had nothing. Yeah. They had nothing, so they just said, hey, you know what? When all else fails, arrest the black dude. Everybody will buy that.
I mean, that's why they couldn't hold on to the guy they caught who really did it, because what evidence would they have at that point?
I'm showing you this to show you two other characters, too. I'm not just letting this play. I mean, it's very interesting, but I want you to see two other people that are in here.
We talked to his friend, Jimmy Hunter.
I don't know who played him in the movie. But I want to show you like a couple of people. First, Brian Stevenson, man. I thought, look, he's no Michael Jordan, but Michael B. Jordan, but who is? But damn, it was really good. Really good.
Yeah, when they showed that picture of him, I was like, oh, that's pretty close.
Yeah, it was very close. But the one that they really got, and I thought that they were exaggerating with it, because I thought it was just this actor doing what this actor does.
What did you tell them you saw?
I told them that I had seen a young girl laying on the floor with her mouth open.
Dead.
Okay,
well, he got that down with the mouth.
Are people just born with marbles in their mouth in Alabama?
They're falling out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Can't keep them in there.
Can you remove the marbles when they're born like you remove the foreskin? This dude is Ralph Myers. He is Tim Blake Nelson in the movie, man. I thought Tim Blake Nelson was just doing his southern country redneck shit again. If you look at Tim Blake Nelson, who just did a great job in Watchmen, you'll see here that they got him down. Perfect casting right there. Yeah. But really, there's an authenticity to this film overall. The earnestness that's in this movie and what it's trying to do, that makes everything more tense and just shows how much has not really changed in modern times, at least especially for that time. When Michael B. Jordan when Michael B. Jordan gets pulled over by racist cops and they threaten his life, by putting a gun to his head. They were going to murder him. And they're not scared because well, you're in Alabama, we can get away with it. In 1986, you believe that happened to Brian Stevenson. You know, that again, that's an authenticity that happens here. You can, like I said, you can feel the hopelessness, the anger. You can feel just the sadness, man, that's going on here. I mean, even when it's supposed to come down to a happy ending, it's just. But yeah, how many other people have died that didn't do anything out of poverty or racism? Listen, the biggest flaw here is that it is a straight up legal drama, and it almost follows that format to a fault. You know, I mean, it's very predictable, I would say, but yet I give the movie credit for rising above that. And I know you say you like the other actors. I do. I think they're great, man. They deserve a lot of credit. I don't think Michael B. Jordan's going to get the credit he deserves, though. He gives a choir a performance that says, but that actually speaks a lot, you know, through his actions, man. Especially after something like Black Panther, and also when you when you see him after Black Panther and also something like Creed. You know, you expected him to come out and do, you know, one of these big grand performances, and this is where he just has to kind of sit back. It's like what Ethan Hawke said in Training Day. He's like, look, you know, I'm here to kind of make Denzel Washington look even better, you know, by my performance, and I'm just supposed to sit back and just let him take the center stage, and that's what Michael B. Jordan kind of does. He's like, I sit back, I do my job, which he does very well, and everybody's going to benefit from this because everybody else has the juicier roles for a good reason.
I suppose so.
You know, I also thought Brie Larson was cool, man.
Yeah, she was.
She didn't have a whole lot to do.
No, she didn't.
But you know what? After watching Captain Marvel, and all y'all talking about, you know, man, fuck, because y'all, you know how y'all are, man. Y'all actually said this, man. That bitch can't act. You know, watching this, you be like, oh, that's why she got awards. Oh, that's the girl that I know from. Oh, that's the girl from Room. Oh, okay, her. Oh, I thought that was a different person because that person in Room can act. You know, Brie Larson was not given a lot to do in Captain Marvel, man. Yeah. I don't think.
Just be the stoic hero.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's why I didn't like Captain Marvel. She's really good in this, man, for the little bit she has to do. You know who I thought was funny in this?
Who's that?
This guy, man, Rafe Spall. This guy always plays an asshole.
Oh, the lawyer, yeah.
Yeah, he's always. Look, he just said something. He said some shit to somebody right now. This guy's always an asshole.
What did we last see him in?
Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
That's right.
2.
That's right.
He was an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, of course, he plays a Southern asshole here. He plays a lawyer who, you know, he helped out with the case to get this man convicted and don't want to have his name look bad.
While I agree with you on most things, I cannot overlook the flaws. And the big one being that it's talking about something very important, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate that it goes into this and it's not soft soaping it or trying to put a happy spin on it. It is kind of generic as a drama. It goes through the formula that we see all the time. Our hero, you know, our main character, he's not nearly all that interesting. It's just when it was all said and done, I was like, well, that was okay.
The performances are something that raises this above its material, but also, as I said, you know, it really does. The movies follow a formula while it's based on something that really happened, and it does not feel like these movies that's just trying to entertain you by repeating a story. It's trying to educate you, and it did it very well, I thought.
All right, you ain't got to preach.
No, I'm not preaching. I'm preaching to everybody. Goddamn it! Okay. No, I'm telling everybody. I'm just telling you, this is not. You know, this is not a contradiction to anybody or an argument. I'm just telling you that I thought that this is something where I see where, you know, there's a format that's overused. I mean, it's almost people kind of shrug now when they see courtroom dramas and legal dramas, and it gets to a point where everything we've seen, you know, how does material hold up as far as conveying this message? And that's where I thought that this worked well. You know, I haven't seen a movie drive home how horrible the death penalty is like this film. And I think it's something that's going to stick with people if you see it and they walk away. You know, the thing, like I said, what it got to with people, it showed that, yeah, we are in a modern day lynching system. Anytime, and I'm saying it with the movies, I'm not preaching about the legal system at all. I'm saying, you know, the movie tells you, like, anytime you get a group of people together, whether it's people out in the woods with a rope or it's a bunch of people in the courtroom who just want to see somebody die because they need to appease someone or they feel angry. It's all a mob, whether it's organized or whether it's out in the dark somewhere. Yeah. And that is what this is. This is a lynch mob that kills people of poverty and people of color. And it does tell you, man, like if you actually go and you root for the death penalty, don't even come and talk about being woke or enlightenment or talk some black shit or talk about income inequality, because you are endorsing murdering people. You know, we've seen this happen before. You know, I think it's right up there with things like, you know, maybe not on the same level because this was something that was done in episodes, but like when they see us.
It's just us.
Every black male who was in the park last night is a suspect. I need all of them.
Everybody who's for the death penalty but cry for this shit, keep in mind that if they had actually been convicted, some of them might have died. Some of them, innocent people, might have died. So this movie, I think, actually gets that point across very well. So yeah, I give this a low full price.
It's just a simple matinee for me.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm mad as f now. Shit. It's the kind of thing that makes you want to be a lawyer. Then you realize how much you got to study. Like,
yeah.
Well, you know.
And you got to go to Alabama.
Yeah.
That's kind of a deal breaker in itself.
You know,
I won't even fly if the layover is in Alabama.
Yeah. You know, Michael got it. He doing good. You got it, man.